All right, fans, joining me now on this week's The Final Count Spotlight. I'm joined by the Devine One, Olivia Devine. How you doing, Olivia?
I'm fine. How you doing?
Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. First off, I know that you're currently out of action right now, so I want to before we could jump into things. How's your recovery going, and how are you doing?
It's actually going pretty good. It's just, I have to be patient basically. I'm doing what the doctors are telling me, the little bit of physical therapy they're giving me. So it's just one day at a time. But I had my surgery December 4th. So I'm basically like a little over 30 days out. So
Okay.
hopefully next week they'll let me know when I can actually start, being able to bend my knee because I can't bend it right now.
Right.
Like I said, I'm just in the early stages, but hopefully I can finally get full fledged into physical therapy because I'm ready to get it over with.
I bet. I bet. What kind of injury was it again?
I tore my tendon patella.
Oh my
Like my
goodness.
kneecap decided to glide up a little bit.
Mm.
So they had to pretty much put it back in place and, put it together, all that good stuff. It's basically a repair, a knee repair.
Well, I definitely wish you a speedy recovery and quick
Thank you.
recovery. I know you want to get back into the ring
Oh,
as
yeah.
soon as possible.
Yeah. I'm
Um,
so annoyed because, like, I want to reach out to, like, hey, I'm available. And I got to remember, no, I'm not. What are you talking about?
right,
So,
right. So let's get started into this. Um, everyone has that first thing that gets them into wrestling, whether it be their mother, their grandfather. Who was that for you? And then when did you decide that this is what I want to do? Wrestling's what I want to do for my career.
it's weird because I don't have any role models. I don't believe in that. But one of the things I was probably like 10 years old, or I think it was maybe in middle school.
Yeah.
And I'm at home. It's probably summertime, just scrolling through the channels and bored. And I was going through a lot of bullying and stuff growing up. And I just happened to come across SmackDown. And me and my dad used to watch wrestling like a long time ago, but I don't really remember. Um, so I was coming across SmackDown. I just happened to see, not trying to age myself, but I saw Kurt Angle and Booker T when they were feuding and with his wife Charmel in the mix and everything. And something about seeing her face is what made me want to do it. I like because she looked like me. There's not a lot of there were at that time a lot of representation of black women. So like when I seen her, it just made me look like her. I just saw myself in her. So it just I don't know, something about watching that just made me want it. And I just kept watching it. And then I think I came across Raw like a month later. That's when I saw Trish Stratus and Lita and them on the other channel. So that's just kind of what happened. It was really natural. So it was like no one said, "Hey, you want to do it?" I just happened to catch it on TV, and I don't know why. Because again, I was like 11, 10, 11 years old. I just fell in love with it, and I just at that point I had in my head, "This is what I want to do." Like when I turned 18 and felt like I was old enough to be able to make my own decisions, that's when I decided to look for a school to see if just to try it out, see if that's something I truly want to do. Just
There you
kind
go. There you go. That's how we kind of we're all like that. All wrestling fans, at least, they're all like, you know, most of us, I know we start at a young age, start liking it at a young age. And so, yeah, that's really cool. I like that you mentioned Charmel as being the one that kind of like drew you in. Um, I know we'll get into this a little bit later, but with OVW, she was actually a part of OVW at one time.
yeah.
So that's really cool to see. Um, who were some of your like favorites that you enjoyed watching or growing up? Anyone besides Trish Stratus and Charmel and Booker T and them?
I really enjoyed Chris Jericho, especially when Chris Jericho and Shawn Michaels had their feuds with each other. I
Yes.
absolutely loved it. And when it comes to women, I liked watching Mickey James. She was one of my favorites as well. And I actually was a fan of Melina as well. But I was really bigger fan of like Shawn Michaels because he's one of my favorites. And then Chris Jericho's right there up there with it. I enjoy watching, it, especially like I said, because I feel like they're kind of the same in so many ways, or they're just really good at telling a story in their matches. But it was just really, really good. And I just anything I saw, that's just who I wanted to watch. I didn't care about nobody else.
I feel you on that. Shawn Michaels is one of my all time favorites, so I'm right there with you on that. Definitely good choices right there. Who were you trained by?
I started with George South.
George South. Yeah, he's actually an alumni of the podcast here.
Okay.
What was that like training with him?
Um. Well, I'm sorry. Let me. I trained a long time ago
Mhm.
with people that no one knows. You know how they call them outlaw schools? The
Yes.
ones that they think they know wrestling. I
Right.
kind of started at a place like that,
Mm.
and I didn't know that they weren't really a school. I was just so eager to do it, and at the time when I was 18, they didn't have a lot of schools that's around now. Things are different than what it was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But I started training with George South in 2018. It was like night and day. It was actually way safer. Like my body was so beat up by the time I got in him. And when I started, training in his ring and everything, it was like a bed compared to where I was at because the rings and those type of places can be really hard. But it was different, and he basically had to almost break me down and put me back together in the correct way. Almost like
Yeah.
have a puzzle is missing pieces or like a Lego, something just it's out of place. So you got to tear it apart all the way and then put it back together. That's kind of what it was. And once I think after a couple of years, I finally started getting it, and it started clicking, and I felt a lot safer. I felt more confident in myself. So that's who I started with. I train with James Drake now, but because the school kind of you know, we lost the building, and I don't know if he's training. I don't know where he's at. He
Yeah.
might be training somewhere. I don't know where he's at this point, but I've been training at different places since then. But yeah, he's my first. I always claim him as my first trainer because he trained me the right way.
Right. 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 No, that's a good learning tree to train under George South right there, and he's got a wealth of experience,
Oh yeah.
for sure. Do you remember your first match, and if so, what was that like?
My very very first match, it was terrible. But my first match on the George South, I lost my first match on the George South was way different, but it was still terrible because even though I got retrained, it's like starting all over again. So still,
Right.
sorry, I think he's
Oh,
calling. But it was rough, but because it's just one of those things where somebody else that's in the ring with you is also green. So sometimes, when you're not good, you can't get on the best shows. The best shows put the best people on there. So you kind of don't have a choice but go to those I don't know if I can cuss or not, but like
yeah.
those shit shows.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, those where you kind of have to be at because
Mm.
that's just what it is. So I had to gain my knowledge and just stick it out through there before I finally was able to get somebody better than me in front of me, so that way I can actually learn something, or at least somebody cared enough to help me. So that took a while. So it was a little bit of a process, but I think everybody goes to that first couple years of kind of having trash matches. Just kind of
Yeah. Oh no.
you
Yeah.
want to
For
forget those
sure.
things.
Like everyone's first match, no matter who I bring on here, their first match is always just like something, whether they're thrown into a battle royal or whatever
Yeah.
it may be.
Yeah,
It's
I
just
mean, I started off in battle royals, but my first match, I guess I don't claim battle royals as a match. Like I
yeah,
just, in my opinion, my first match is a one-on-one,
of
and
course.
like I said, it was so rough. But
Mhm.
but I got tired. I was glad because I hate battle royals. I get so afraid to go over the top rope. I can do it, but I just hate
Yeah,
doing it. I always
I
have
don't
this,
blame you.
I always had this intrusive thought I'm gonna break my kneecaps, even though I end up breaking both my kneecaps anyway later on down the line. But
Right,
I'm just not from battle royals.
right. If you could pick three matches while we're talking about matches, if you could pick three matches that you have had thus far in your career, what as your favorites, what matches would you pick?
You know what's crazy? One of my best matches, the one I got injured in recently, was with Ari Alexander at New South. That was
Wow.
probably when I look back, that's probably one of my best matches I've had because I have been struggling because I've been struggling here and there for different reasons, and sometimes it's like I said, even with the experience that I had, 'cause I've been retrained for 5 years.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's even though I can get good people in front of me, sometimes, especially in North Carolina, it can be kind of far in between to find a good worker. But when I started traveling out to different states, that's when I started getting in front of women that are actually good.
Mhm.
So, Ari was somebody that was really good. She was easy to work with. Um, that's probably one of my favorite matches. And then my second one is with I wrestled in New Jersey at Break Combination with Helica Risk. She was
Mhm.
also fun to work. And then I want to say my last match that I can think of, I worked with Alexa Littlefoot.
Yes.
I actually enjoy working with her too. She's fun.
Yes, she was actually in the most recent Nightmare Rumble this past week, and so that was really awesome to see her in OVW make her OVW debut. And yeah, those are all great people right there, great workers right there for sure, great talent. How did you come up with your moniker, the Divine One?
I guess at the time when I started rebranding myself, when I got retrained, I wanted to do something that was for me because what I had before was made up for me, and it was just one of those situations where like, well, they're black, you're black, let's just put y'all together, and I didn't, I just roll with it because didn't know no better at that time. So I when I came up with my name, Olivia Devine, couldn't figure out what moniker can I use. I need something. I couldn't figure it out. Divine means goddess. It just means so many different things in a positive way. I said, well, instead of saying the goddess, because that was already taken at the time, I have a tripod, but I can't find it. I usually have one. So I have to get with this. I'm sorry. But I decided to say, you know what? I just kept it simple because I tend to put so much thought into things, especially when I'm passionate about it. So I figured, you know what? Let me just call myself the Devine One. I don't know why. And then ever since I started using it, and it's one of those things like you can like name, but you like it better when you hear it from somebody else's mouth.
Yeah.
So when I heard somebody announce it, that's when I said, okay, this is for me. Because that's how I did my name. My original name was going to be Danny Devine. But then when I heard the announcer, it was a practice match at a seminar. And when they said on the mic, I was like, I don't like that name. I changed it. I like the last name. I didn't like the first name. So that's kind of how I do things. When I name things or want a specific thing, I try to let somebody else say it to me. And if I like the way it sounds, then that's what I want. But if I don't like it, I can't commit to it.
I like that you kept it Divine, the last name Divine. I like
Mhm.
that you kept that because it's so like catchy and like hey, I'm Divine, and I'm like I'm confident. Whatever you want to, however you want to say it. I'm confident in who I am. I know that I'm better than you or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
I
Well,
know that I'm
initially,
royalty.
I really, the name came from this. There was a group called Divine, or it was the group called Divine or the song. No, yeah, the group's called Divine. It was like one of them old songs from like the 90s, whatever. And I just re-spelt the name. And
Yeah.
then somebody suggested to me, why don't you look it up and maybe figure out how to use the definition of it to your way? People would give me so many different suggestions early on in my career about that. So that's just kind of why I kept it. And that's why I just started kind of evolving it to be something. So, like I said, I didn't want to be the queen. I felt like everybody had that moniker, the queen, the goddess, the everything. No one else called themselves the divine one.
Hmm.
So I said, well, I can make this work for me. So I have. And
Yeah.
like I said, Olivia is just, I forgot how I came. Well, I don't guess I forgot. It came from a personal reason, but I put them together. And then somebody was like, OD. And I was like, oh, do you like overdose? Oh, okay, cool. And then that's just kind of why, yeah, people will just be saying stuff to me randomly, and my brain starts ticking for no reason. Be like, you know what? I can do something with this, and
Right.
that's just kind of how I put it together.
There you go. I like that. I like that. For anyone who has not seen your work or has not seen your in-ring style or anything like that, how would you describe yourself? How would you describe yourself in the ring? How would you describe your gimmick, your character?
Oh, that's such a good question. I'm pretty much, I just see myself as dominant. I'm bigger than most girls. Like it's very rare to come across a girl that's my height or bigger than me.
Mm.
I'm a powerhouse. Like I could do a lot of different things. If I don't have to, I'm not going to. If I gotta just toss you around, I will.
Right.
Like at the end of the day, I'm here to win. I could be friends with you. We can be cool with each other, but I'm taking that win by any means. So I toss them around. That's just what it is.
Love it. I love that answer. Great answer right there. What have been some of your favorite promotions to work for?
Ooh, I like New South and Kentucky. I've worked with OVW a few times. I actually enjoyed being there. Recombination, New Jersey. I love the. Sorry, I love Recombination as well in New Jersey. I actually had a blast out there. I think those are three places I can think. Oh, I like Ladies Night Out. I think
Yes.
he goes different places, but like he be in Winston Salem a lot, and Telly's cool. I absolutely love him. So those are like I don't know if you said three, but those are the four places I enjoy working.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. That's
Those are
great
places that
places
actually
right there
gave me a
too.
chance to actually be myself. And, because sometimes some promotions, when there's a lot of politics involved, it's kind of hard to get on unless you
Mhm.
know somebody or somebody's going to speak up for you. Versus a lot of these places, they could be the same way, but maybe I was just in the right place in the right time. Maybe they just want to see what they gave me opportunities. So I always going to name the people that give me the most opportunities.
For sure, for sure. And I agree with that for sure. Can you talk about working with Mother Endless at Assault Wrestling Alliance
She's
um, and what that was like?
She's so fun. Like me and her been like talking with each other because she had surgery too
Mhm.
on her her right leg. So me and her be like encouraging us. So we said we're gonna have to fight each other and we just gonna have to figure out who leg we're gonna break next or something like that. We just be talking to each other all the time. But she was fun. I think she's like 20 years in the business, something like that. She's a lot of experience. And like she was very nice to me because sometimes when people meet me, because of my size, sometimes I get automatically judged because of how big I am. And she's one of the few that didn't look at me and think I was some type of bully or something. She actually gave me a chance. And she was very easy to work with. She was nice to me. She knew what she was doing. So I enjoy working with her. Like she's somebody I would suggest. I feel everybody should work her at least once.
For sure. I watching those matches that you all had together.
Ugh,
Like I was like,
those are old terrible matches. Ugh.
I loved the one that ended on the outside of the ring.
Oh
I
yeah,
think she submitted you on the outside.
it was such a weird stipulation because every match was a I quit match. I think
Mhm.
it was a tap match. You had to basically tap out or something like that. And it was an I didn't really like it just because everybody was doing almost the same thing. So we had to find different ways to get creative. And when you're like semi main or like halfway in the middle and you only
Mhm.
have three matches ahead of you, already do whatever submission holds you can possibly think of. It's like what counts we do. So we had to get a little creative and it was a little rough and I was still a little green at the time. I don't want to say green, but I was still learning. So, it's not one of my favorite matches, but it was a learning experience.
There you
I
go. There you go. Talk about OVW. How did you get the opportunity to come to OVW?
I think Maria reached out to me. I want to say no, no, not her. Somebody. Oh, yes, I can't remember now. Somebody reached out to me and told me about it. Oh, I take them. I'm sorry. It was Shane Chess. He's a referee there.
Yes.
And he reached out to me randomly. I met him like a couple times at the show in Asheville. It's called I ain't been there so long, I don't remember the name of it. But I know it's in Asheville. And, I don't remember meeting him though. Like it was one of those
Right.
fast situations, like, hi, how you doing? I guess, and I just don't remember. And
Mhm.
then every year they're always looking for new women to be in the Rumble. So I guess that same year or the following year, he reached out to me. He was like, hey, are you interested? This is that, Rumble in Kentucky, whatever. I'm like, yeah, sure, because I've heard of it. I knew it was, a good platform. I just never thought of would be good enough to be out there. I thought WWE still had it, so I thought they ain't gonna want me up there. So he's like, "Oh, just reach out to Maria and all this other stuff. You gotta get licensed." So I reached out to her. She told me what I needed to do, and I got it together. And I drove me and Jada Stone drove up there together, and we debuted at the same time at the Rumble. It was scary because I didn't even know it was live TV.
Mhm.
Like I knew they did live TV, but I was under the impression this wasn't it because I didn't realize what type of company it was. I thought it was one they have a live show every once in a while. I didn't realize it was a pay per view. That's how slow I was. I didn't realize what was going on. I was just happy to be there. When I get there, Shane's like, "Oh yeah, this is live." I said, "What? I'm sorry." What? I got so nervous. I wanted to throw up. Like I was like, "No, I wasn't ready for this. I wasn't prepared. Like I didn't know what to do." But I had my stuff with me, so I went out there like my face looks like. People tell me, "Oh, you like you was ready." I was like, "No, I was scared and confused." But I'm glad it don't look like that. I'm glad it didn't show that on the camera because when I
Yeah.
first came out that curtain, I saw all those people. I think that's probably the first time I've had that big of a crowd in front of me. That was probably the most people I ever worked in front of. So I was so nervous. I was stressed out, but I did what I was supposed to do. I didn't win, but it was a good experience, and I enjoyed it.
So that was one of the Thursday night shows, one of the TV shows, or a
It
Saturday
was
night
Saturday.
special, or
It was a
was it
Saturday.
Saturday?
This is when I used to do the Rumble together, like the
Yeah.
men's and women's Rumble on but they ended up separating because I guess it was too long. But at the
Mm.
time, this was like a couple years ago. This is like 2, 3 years ago. They actually had them on the same day.
Yeah. Yeah. I was trying to remember if I was. I don't know if I was there or not. Can't remember far back if I was there or not, or for sure or not. But shout out to Jada. She's another alumni here of the show, and so yeah, shout out to Jada too. Very cool that y'all debuted together. Can you talk about working with Freya the Slaya in
Oh,
OVW?
she was fun to work with too. Like I was so nervous, and it's different over there because you have agents and people that you have to work with, so you're not really I don't want to talk too much, but like, you have more people behind the scenes that's helping you,
Mhm.
preparing you, especially when you're not used to it. And when it comes to camera work, I tend to struggle because at the time I never, most indie promotions have hard cam,
Right.
and
Right.
and some of them tend to have roaming cameras, but you don't think to learn how to work them. I know how to work the hard cam, but the roaming cameras, I never, was trained to know how to work them. Some
Mhm.
people just kind of figure it on their own, but I just, I tend to be a slow bit of, I have ADHD, so sometimes I can be a little bit of a slow learner. So I didn't even understand how can I work this camera? How can I focus on so many different things at once and still make sure I get good shots? And then you got the photographer over here too. So but a lot of indie promotions don't have all of that. Some do,
Yeah.
some don't. So you don't think to train to learn how because you're not guaranteed they're gonna be there anyway. So when I WW, I have all these cameras, I have all this stuff going on. Then you got to interact with the fans. The fans are big, they're kind of far away. It's a different setup. It was a lot. It was a lot. So it was, but she was really good at helping me making sure I was in the right place, in front of the right cameras. Like she was easy to work with. I enjoy working with her. I already told her a while back we need to have another one. Now that I know what I'm doing, we need to have another go so that way it actually looks better. Because in my opinion, even though our match was good, I feel like it could have been better if I was a better performer at the time. Because she was good.
Yes. Like I definitely want to see when you get 100% again. I definitely love to see you come back to WWE and just
I've
freaking
already said
dominate the place.
I've already said I'm doing a tour. I'm gonna rework every female that I worked with that was good, and I
Hmm.
felt like I wasn't. I feel like I was not up to par at the time because in my head I feel like I let them down. So in my head, now that I've gotten so much better, I've trained harder, I've just really been focused on on things I need to work on. I'm trying to have a tour of going back and working them again this year if I can, and try to make sure I work on good promotion, not just trashy ones. I want to make sure I'm in front of a good audience that can get me places and good photographers and good camera work so that way I can promote myself better. Because, when you go to any places, it really is hard to get, the match itself sometimes, or
Right.
sometimes they take pictures and the pictures aren't the greatest. So the better the promotion is, the better quality that stuff is. So that's my goal, is just to get back, and hopefully one day I can get back and ring with her and actually have a better feud, or at least a better match, if anything, a match that I can feel proud about.
Yeah. Someone else in OVW that you had a matches with, Hollywood Haley Jade.
Oh,
What was working with her like?
she's super easy. I don't think I've ever. I think some of my best matches were with her. Like even she said that she enjoys working with me. But yeah, some of my best matches with her. I absolutely enjoy working with her. She's super.
Yes, she's awesome and
Yeah.
awesome storyteller there too.
Oh yeah.
Um, what are your thoughts on working all ladies shows versus intergender shows or shows that have both male and female on the shows?
Um. I'm sorry. What was the question again?
Yeah, like what are your thoughts on like working all ladies shows versus intergender or shows with male and female on the shows?
I feel like I honestly don't mind doing all women shows because I feel like it gives us all an opportunity. But only thing that sucks about it is that a lot of times we can't get the views that we need because it's like, yeah, you get the pervs that show up, you got the fans, you got the pervs that but it's like we're still not being taken seriously.
Right.
Like when we're on a show where there's men and women, they don't mind watching. They'll cheer us. They'll come get pictures with us. They will literally buy our merch and everything. But when we're on an all women show, it's almost like it's harder to get the same people to come support you. And it's weird considering we get told that sometimes our matches are better than the men's. So it's like if that's how you feel. Why can't you come to a promotion with just us and enjoy it the same way you would if we were on a show with other men? So that's just my opinion, and that's just based off what I've seen and experienced being on all women show. It's just the audience ain't the same. So like OVW is different, but
Yeah.
that audience is big. But like anywhere else outside of that, it's just kind of hit or miss sometimes. I mean, I've never been to a show where there was nobody there, but it is a difference between the same exact promotion where there's men and women, the crowd's pretty good versus just women only. It's like half that crowd sometimes. So it's a little sometimes a little disappointing, but it is what it is. I don't mind doing intergender matches. I personally enjoy them.
Mm.
Men to me personally don't hurt as much. So women tend to be hard hitting. So I enjoy working with men, but depending on what state you in and depending on what certain promotions, they really don't like it and refuse to do it. So I
Yeah.
haven't done one in a long time because it's just really hard to get one of those.
Yeah, like I'm with you. Like I'd like to see like women's all women shows be taken more seriously by the fans, and not have like you said. There's pervs that come to those shows, but there are fans that actually true fans that come. But then there's like just oh look at how she looks and whatnot. It's just like I wish they would take it more seriously because shows like that, like you said, it does give all more women opportunities to be on the shows, and so I completely agree with you right there. Um, Talk about working uh, with Ari Alexander and New South Wrestling.
Oh, I like working with her too. I think she's probably I don't say she's the easiest person to work with, but she's up there. She's not she don't make it difficult. Some people tend to have their ways
Mhm.
and they can be nice. It's just some people are just different. But working with her, she's fun. She has great ideas. She just easy to work with. It's so I don't really have so much to say. It's just that she's easy to work with. She's a very nice person, and she's just smart. So it just I just that I think like I said with her, I think I've had my best matches with her because she's a different height, she's a different size, but she's good. She knows what she's doing. I don't have to guide her. I don't have to hope for the best and assume. A lot of times women I work tend to know what they're doing, or they
Mhm.
kind of know what they're doing, or you have those that say they know what they're doing, they really don't. I don't have to question her at all. I know I'm confident that she knows what she's doing, and I don't have to worry about her. I don't have to worry about her safety. Like I keep people safe, but I don't have to worry about making sure she don't hurt herself. I ain't
Right.
got her hurting me. I don't got to worry about making sure that everything goes right or go, how it's supposed to be. We are on the same page with each other. I don't have to. I don't have to do anything. I can just be myself and focus only on me. So I like matches like that. It's easier.
And yeah, and you can put on better matches that way as well, for
Yeah.
sure. Um, what is the partnership of sorts in New South Wrestling between yourself and Icon Lee?
Say that again.
What is the partnership of sorts with yourself and Icon Lee in New South Wrestling?
Oh, I'm his client. I work for him. I'm here to look out for his best interest. That's what I'm there for.
There you go. There you go. If you were to start, okay, here's a question. It's going to require a little bit of thinking, and you can let me just say before I ask the question, you can pick anyone in the world, even someone that's already passed away or anything. So if you were to start your own faction, how many members would be in your faction? Who would the members of your faction be, and what would the name of your faction be?
Be honest with you, I don't like factions. I don't. I'm not a fan of them. So I honestly, I don't know. um, I guess if I had to pick, it'd probably be the people I named: Ari, Alexa Littlefoot, and who's the other person I said? I can't. Who's the other person I said? Ari, Alexis. I can't think of that person I said to you earlier. Um, I don't want to name nobody. I don't remember. I can't remember the last person, but yeah, those three people I said earlier, those are the same people I would be in a faction with. Now, name, I don't know. I would need some time to figure that out. I can't get back. I don't know,
I,
but I would
I
work with
got
them
you.
because I know they know what they're doing.
There you go. There you go. What promotion on the Indies would you like to be a part of and just run through the entire women's roster and dominate the division? Like, is there a promotion out there that you like? I just want to be on top in that promotion.
Probably OBW because they have a good amount of women that are good. So I want to run through those women. And as soon as I go there, I go to New Jersey on Break Combination. I run through those women too. And then I'm gonna go back to North Carolina at Ladies Night Out. I'm gonna run through those women too.
There
If
you
I
go.
get on, if I get on NWA, I'll run through those chicks too. I'll go through anywhere I need to go through.
I love that. I love that because I'm like, coming up with this question. I was like, she's like a dominant force to be reckoned with.
I don't
I'm like,
discriminate. I'll run through anybody if I can get my hands on them.
I'm like, I'm like, I just love to see like a dominant athlete, a dominant someone that can dominate like that. Like I could, for a dream match that I'd like to see, someone I'd like to see you go up against would be like an Awesome Kong or something like that. That would be a great match.
I met her. I met her in Illinois a while back. She's super
Really,
nice. Yeah, that'd be a good match because she's still good.
I think that would be a
She
really
was
good
one of the people
match.
she's one of the people I watched too. I forgot about her, but she's one of the people I like when I was watching Impact when
Mhm.
it was still Impact, like the old Impact. I enjoyed watching her, especially when her and Gail Kim had their feud. I absolutely loved it.
Yes, yes, phenomenal feud. If you could create your own match type for specifically for you, what would it consist of, and then what would the name of your match be?
That's a weird question. Hmm. Um, I guess the type of match it would just be really just a hard hit match. I don't really that's kind of a hard question. But it would be pretty much a hard hitting match. I honestly don't care because I
Mhm,
can do any type of match that's thrown at me. They want to jump off the ropes, I'm going to catch them. I'm still
mhm.
going to sling them. That's fine. Some
Right.
people have a fighting style where they do a bunch of kicking. That's fine. I have a martial arts background too. I don't tell people about it, but I have one. We got to throw kicks and punches. That's fine as well. Whatever's put in front of me, I don't care. I'm gonna wrestle whoever I can because in the day I'm confident in myself. I know I can take them down, so I ain't worried about it. So it's kind of like I don't really have anything for that one. I don't know what the name is. Just whatever.
Yeah.
What you wanted to be that day.
There you go. There you go. Um, you you had the opportunity recently or a few months back to train with WWE Star Tyson Kidd. What was the experience like training with him, and what do you feel was your biggest takeaway from training with him?
Oh, that was a really good experience. He was so nice. Like we did a lot. We really just did a lot of warm ups and little just. He had us have practice matches and everything. What I could take from it is that just a lot of what we learn is that the way they view things is very different than being on the independent circuit. It's just different. And he gave us so much insight on what the business was there and what to expect or what they do. Like I just know the one of the biggest things that I took from it is just being in your best shape. I know that I don't have the most appealing physique per se. People are gonna have their opinions about it. And one thing I took from it, because I work out and I try my best to get in the best shape I possibly can be, and that's something that's always been a goal of mine. So
Hmm.
being there and just listening to some of the stuff he was saying, I've just realized, okay, I need to really work harder to get myself in better shape because if I want to be taken seriously, I need to look at me as a serious person. I need to know that I can keep up, I can hang with the best. So that's kind of what I took from it. I just took it as I need to be in the best shape I possibly can be, get your cardio up, be open minded, be willing to listen, being able to be diverse with different ideas and suggestions and stuff like that. That's just kind of what I took from it. It was a
Sounds
really
like it was a great. What was that?
it was a really good experience. He was really nice, like I said.
It sounds like it. It sounds like it was a great learning experience, and you took a lot from it. What are some of your goals in 2024? And then who are some people you would like to work with in 2024? And what would be for a long term goal? Say the next 5 years. What are some of your goals as far as that goes?
You gave me ask a bunch of questions at once. um, what was it? Well, I'm sorry. What was the first question?
The first question. So, what are some of your goals for 2024?
Oh, just to get in better shape, get in the best shape I could possibly be. Also train hard because I feel like some of my matches, I feel because I had gained weight, I feel like I kind of lacklustered in a lot of my matches. They could have been better, but because there were moments where my cardio was low or maybe my mind wasn't right. I just had a lot going on last year besides the surgeries and stuff. And I had a condition that was also holding me back. So I feel like this year my focus is to get in better shape. Not, once I heal out and get at my best, I'm gonna need to perform at my best. Make sure my confidence is up to where it needs to be. Because sometimes I get in my head a lot. I feel like everybody kind of overthinks everything,
Mhm.
and sometimes people don't believe. You go through a phase where you don't believe in yourself and you start questioning yourself. And this year, I don't want to do that. I feel like know what I'm doing. I train with the best trainers in the world. I've trained with different people like Caleb Conley. I've trained with Caprice Coleman. I've trained with just different people. So I really don't have an excuse to not believe in myself. So this year, that's just what it is. Um, my goal is to be on TV. I want to be part of it, but that don't happen. Then whatever's meant for me is meant for me. But my intention is to be on a bigger platform where I could be shown, where I can be seen. All the hard work that I put in for all these years, I wanted to pay off in some fashion. So that's just kind of my goals. And like I said, when it comes to who I want to work with, I want to work with the same people that were good that I felt like I didn't give them the best match. They were better than me at the time. So, and granted, none of them has ever disrespected me. None of them have ever said, "Oh, the match was terrible," nothing like that. They gave me great critiques and feedback. But in my head and in my heart, I feel like they deserve a better match for me. So if I can make that possible in some kind of way, if they can make it possible, that's just what I wanted to be. Like Ashley the wrestler, she's a good worker too. We've had some matches; they were okay, but they could have been better. So, I have a list of people, and they're, her, Ari, Alexis Littlefoot, Angelica Riss, all those people. I want to work them again. and have a way better match that I can be proud of.
There you go. Well, I definitely wish you the best of luck in those goals, and I'd love to see those goals. I wish you the best of luck in seeing those goals come to fruition for sure.
Thank you.
How can fans find you on social media?
Oh, that's easy. I try not. I don't really not too much want them to be on my Facebook. I've been trying to get that to be a little bit more private, but they can follow me on Twitter. It's Olivia Devine Pro, and on or X, not Twitter, aka X, and then Instagram's the same thing. Olivia Devine Pro. That's where they can find me on those places. That's where I tend to put most of my content is on those places.
Sounds good. Well, I definitely encourage all fans. If you're out there watching, you're out there listening, go and check out Olivia Devine on her social media pages, on her X and then Twitter or X and then Instagram. I keep wanting to say Twitter too, but go follow her. And did you have a TikTok as well? Correct.
I do. I don't be on it like that, but I have one. But I don't remember the name, to be honest with you. I mean, it's probably Olivia Devine as well. I just don't remember. I have been on it in a while. I can't do nothing. I can't walk. I can barely walk. So what am I about to do? So I haven't really been using it.
I feel you. I feel you. Well, go follow her on all of her social media as well. And then, how can promoters, for when you are ready to get back to action, how can promoters contact you if they want to get you on their next show?
I mean, they can reach out to me on my now. Most promoters can follow me on Facebook, and they can find me there. Most promoters already follow anyway, and if not, they can find me on Facebook with the same name. They can find me on Twitter. Like I said, they can reach out to me. My emails are also in. I think it's on one of my on my Instagrams. But yeah, they can find me in different places. Yeah.
All right, promoters, when she's ready, go get her on. Go get Olivia Devine on your next show and get her booked. You won't be disappointed. I can promise you that. Go book her with some of these matches that she wants to have again. You heard it here, and so it shouldn't be hard to get some of these matches going. So promoters, go get her booked when she is cleared and ready to come get back into the ring.
I appreciate
Um, Olivia, at this time, I'd like to definitely thank you for coming on the Final Count Spotlight again, and you're welcome to come back anytime.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you.